Travis Wibben. We're here at Classic Green Reunion 2023 in Lebanon, Tennessee. I'm part of the board of directors and secretary here. We're having our show. It's a fabulous event, but I really want to show you a special opportunity, a special moment that's about to happen. Back in 1937, John Deere built what we call the Gold Centennial D. It's a John Deere D that was painted gold to celebrate 100 years of their business. The special moment is we have the great-granddaughter of the original owner of that tractor here to meet the current caretakers of this special D. So I have with us today Anna Roberts and Charles English Jr. Charles English's dad, Charles English Sr., found this gold D back in the early 90s and realized what this tractor was, did a tremendous amount of research on it, found out that yes, it's truly this Centennial D. They've done research all the way back to the previous or the early beginning owners. It's a fantastic amount of research they've done and understand the whole life cycle of this tractor.
It's so glad that you made it out to the Classic Green Show, and it's just a real privilege to let you see your great-grandfather's tractor in all of its beauty. There's only been about 5 people that sat on this tractor. Even I haven't sat on it. So,
you haven't sat on it
No,
before?
never. We've had it at my wedding reception, and my wife sat on it, but I've never been on it. You know, it's just such a privilege to have Anna with us today, and just the old pictures she sent of her dad farming this tractor was just amazing to me. And the thing about this particular tractor is we try to document everything and have as many pictures as we can from the past and present.
Well, when I first saw the first pictures of it, it was a black and white photo. And I just assumed since it's a John Deere, it was green. And Mr. English here sent me a full article, and that's when I realized it was gold. And I couldn't really picture it until he sent me a color picture. So it's really exciting. And I'm just really thrilled that someone took a piece of history and restoring it and showing it off to everybody.
So, you know, we met through the Kingfisher, Oklahoma Facebook page, and that's where I posted pictures of this. And I believe she recognized her great-grandfather from the pictures that we posted on Facebook.
Same exact picture that I had in my photo album.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So again, Anna, thank you so much for coming out today.
It was nice to meet you in
Nice
person,
to meet
finally.
you. Yeah.
All right, I am standing here with my old buddy Hamilton Halford. We had a good time driving around last fall, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We solved all the world's problems.
Sure did.
And a lot of road tripping around Georgia.
Sure did.
But being a flatlander like I am, up where they grow corn and soybeans, I get down in Hamilton's neck of the woods, and he's got strange things like pecans and peaches and cotton and peanuts. That's another passion of yours.
Yep.
So, you know, for an old corn and soybean farmer, whenever I walk up and look at this thing, I'm like, what in tarnation do we have here? So explain how this thing works, because it blows my mind.
Well, I think when you were first introduced to this machine, I tried to pass it off as a grape harvester, but I couldn't do that. Kurt, what we have here is the smallest.
It's only because you were smiling when you said that. Had you kept a straight face, I might have been right on with you.
What you're looking at here is a John Deere number 12 cotton picker. It's the smallest cotton picker that John Deere produced back in the mid-50s. This one came out of North Alabama. A gentleman bought it, the picker, and mounted it on this 420T that we see. Had the dealer come out and put it all together, and it stayed together up until 2006. The gentleman only had 20 acres of cotton, but he picked. I did the average. If he picked 20 acres every year, that over the span of its lifetime, it picked 1,000 acres of cotton.
He was still using it up to 2006?
Yes. Now there may
Wow.
have been a few years in there that it didn't plant cotton,
Right.
but it was 1,000 acres or less because all he had was 20 acres.
Right.
But The purpose of the cotton picker is to keep folks like me and you and all of our relatives from having to go out there and pick the cotton out of the bowl. This machine right here would do it for you. This technology came along back in the 30s, I would say, the 30s, and then real strong in the 40s. But if you'll come right here and take a look at these spindles right here that you see are on that bar, and that series of spindles, it rotates, it comes around on a cam, and as it comes around and makes contact with the bowl of cotton that's in those bowls, these burrs grab that cotton, and as it comes on around, those spindles are still spinning, and that cotton comes off, and it falls in this drum. There's air, is a vacuum cleaner. This is Mama's big vacuum cleaner, air troll. It pulls that cotton up through the tube and blows it in the basket. So again, this is the smallest one they made. They made some larger, but this is for low cotton. You had some heads in these pickers that came up to here, but its purpose was to come around. Those fingers would come around and burr that cotton, and then keep spinning, and it would get to these dopper pads. And these dopper pads, the way they rotate, it would unspin that cotton off of that spindle, and then the vacuum cleaner would just take it up and put it in the basket.
And throws it up in this big basket. So as opposed to today, where it comes out in a bale, then how did this work?
This would fill up. You would have about 600 pounds of what we call seed cotton. That cotton would still have seeds in it, but if you got in there, the youngest got in there and stomped it down, you'd only have about 600 pounds in that entire basket. You would fill it up, you'd go to a wagon, whether a wooden-sided wagon or expanded metal-sided wagon, and you would dump this over into that wagon until you got it full. And while you were out picking cotton with this, you would leave the children in the trailer to keep running around in the trailer
and stomping the cotton
down so you could get more in it. Because if you didn't stomp it down, it would be fluffy as feathers and want to blow out on the way to the gin. But you would.
So when I was a kid, I got in the gravity wagon and I played in the corn. But if I'd been a true Southerner, I'd been a cotton stomper.
You would have been a cotton stomper. That
okay,
is absolutely right.
All right. And when this thing unloads and tips over, it kind of looks like the thing's coming apart.
It looks like somebody just busted Mama's pillow.
Yeah.
Everything comes out at one time and don't want to be under it. Wouldn't hurt you if you had some size to you, but you're fixing to have 600 pounds of cotton to come out on top of it.
Yeah, and the way, I mean, this was a regular 420 tractor.
Right.
All right. And so John Deere come up with a way to mount this cotton picker on here and make all the controls from here.
That's right.
And this tractor ran backwards.
You pick cotton with this tractor in the reverse gear.
So this, it's interesting how they made all this linkage.
That's right.
To shift gears and steer the steering wheel.
That's right. And believe it or not, it's real easy to drive from up there. You have to turn around and get it in gear, but your clutch and brakes and everything are just like you were sitting here. But on this tractor, you pick in reverse. On the number 11, none of this would be on here. The operator station would not be on here. You would sit in your traditional seat. None of this linkage would be here. This head would be turned around and you would be picking cotton going in this direction on the number 11.
Which gave you more speed.
You had more gears to choose from.
Because you're only picking in reverse here?
Only reverse, and you do not want to feather the throttle while you're picking because that will plug up on you, and you don't want that to happen. So you have to be running some RPMs for all of this to keep spinning in motion and for it to do its job, and that was a hindrance. Only one gear to go in,
right?
Especially if you were in heavy cotton.
So hypothetically, you can take this entire cotton.
That was the whole purpose of it.
You can take it off. And you got your tractor back.
It gave the farmer the opportunity to use this tractor throughout the non-harvesting season to work the field Whether it was cultivating, prepping, planting, whatever, he could use that tractor. And then whenever it came harvest time, this would usually be on stands or either chained up in a barn.
Do you think they took it off more than once?
My guy never took it off.
Yeah.
I've taken it off. It's been off once, and that's when I restored it, and it won't be off again, I promise.
My dad, my dad had the same feelings about a 2-row corn picker. You just leave it on.
Buy another tractor.
Buy another tractor, yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank y'all for coming down.
Yep.